That's funny.
Looks like I'm drinking
Urine?
cloudy piss. Yes.
What are you drinking, Kyle?
It's a Lime-A-Rita.
Oh, okay. Let the record show that Kyle is not drinking urine, though it looks like it.
Oh my god.
Urine from someone with a protein deficiency.
Definitely.
Maybe I'll keep
Especially
that
since it's so citrusy.
Yeah.
Oh. They have acidic urine.
Don't touch that dial. You've only just arrived. Stay a while. You have
Hello, everybody. I'm just trying to get creative now.
I've noticed I say bye the same way every single time, so I'm gonna need to try to switch that up too.
Mix that up a little bit.
We're gonna get so annoyed with me.
We're gonna get creative at both ends, and it's gonna be interesting.
And
welcome. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I would like to apologize for our many, many non-existent listeners for my loud, obnoxious voice. After hearing all these episodes previously getting edited, I realized how loud I am compared to everyone else, and it's ear-shattering. So I apologize, and I'm gonna work on it.
That's all right. We're learning as we go. We figured it out. Figured out how to fix it a little bit.
Sort
I think
of.
we'll see. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. Welcome to Tales with Twins.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, we are twins. If you haven't listened before, we are identical twins. I'm Jillian. My pronouns are she, her. My co-host is my sister, twin sister, identical twin sister, Paige.
Paige. This is Paige.
What are your pronouns, Paige?
Oh, she, her.
We also have our brother on the line, big bro, Kyle. He is kind of in the background. He pops in and out occasionally when he has some valuable input that he feels like inputting.
Hey, how's it going? I am he.
What
him.
are you? He, him. Okay,
Yes.
Thanks, Kyle.
Kyle's catching on.
Yes, he's catching on. Anyway, let's see here. What do we... Oh, yes. Let's start with social media. We did talk a little bit on the last episode about our social media. We'll do it again because why not? Let's see. So Instagram and Twitter our handle is @TalesWithTwins. And then Facebook. Do you want to talk about Facebook, Paige?
Yeah, it's a Facebook group. So it's Tales with Twins podcast group. And yeah, feel free to post fun things about true crime or anything weird in there. Though please be kind. We will not tolerate any mean people.
Yes. Nice people only.
Yes, and we will kick you the fuck out if you're being mean.
Yes, and you need to be approved to get in there in the first place, so we know who you are.
And you'll fancy if you get in.
Yes.
Just kidding,
Constructiveness only.
Yes.
Exactly.
But we pretty much let everyone in. So.
Yeah, we're small, so we need a little nudge, a little help.
Yeah, we need all the love.
Yes, and that actually brings me to the next thing. Make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe, because again, we are small. We only have a handful of episodes out at this point, and we would just really appreciate it if you helped us out a little bit.
Especially the rating stuff, because I know, especially 5 stars. We need 5 stars. None of that 3-star, 4-star bullshit. We need 5 fucking stars.
Yes, please.
That's how we get
do.
seen by people.
Ground level boosters will be appreciated.
Yes.
And if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it at all.
Exactly.
Unless it's constructive. All right. Let's see here. What are you drinking tonight, Paige?
I just have wine, although it's my most favorite wine ever.
Do you want to share with the world what that is?
I'm a little embarrassed, but it's the Trader Joe's wine.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So it's the Trader Joe's White Zinfandel, and it is so good. So good. And it's hilarious because Uncle Bob knows that it's my most favorite wine, like, ever. And the only liquor, or the only Trader Joe's that sells wine in Colorado is right by their house.
Oh.
So whenever he goes there, he gets a case of it.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet of him.
And he always gives, he like splits it up between me, Mom, and him. So he gives me
so
like
sweet.
3 bottles.
That's so sweet. Our
So-
bleeding heart Uncle Bob.
I know. Yeah, he's a doll. He's such a special person.
Kind of stuff I'd do if I had the means.
Yeah.
Love doing
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Someday.
So that's my wine. Cheers to Uncle Bob.
Yes.
and
Cheers, Uncle
your
Bob.
Support of my wine fetish.
Let's see. I am drinking one of my favorites. This is a gin sour. I really like gin. I just really love
It is your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Bourbon is my go-to.
Oh, vomit.
I like warm drinks. Like, not warm in temperature, but drinks that make you feel warm inside.
I guess, well, bourbon, brandy, whiskey, scotch, all just makes me want to vomit. So I don't think that's not warm to me.
What a sad life. You're missing out on a lot.
On what you're talking about, Paige, on both fronts, I just tried for the first time a hot toddy yesterday, and it was lovely. It was very lovely.
Hot toddies are our favorite, so that's what we drink a lot. Not a lot, but like once or twice during the week, I'll make hot toddies. I make a damn good hot toddy.
You know, those were once prescribed to cure the cold.
They would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do drink those when I'm sick because they do make you weirdly feel a lot better. And they're really good for sleeping to help you feel sleepy.
Yeah, it goes down like a tea, like a slightly bourbon flavored tea. Like maybe not, this wouldn't be good for you, Jillian, but anyone who likes bourbon.
And I actually make my hot toddies with tea. So I put a tea bag in it. That's not a traditional way of doing a hot toddy, but it adds a little flavor. So I do like a honey chamomile one. Mm-hmm. And it's real good.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
That sounds really nice.
Anyway.
Wow. Okay. Well, now that we've shared that, are you ready? Okay. I'm ready for like share time on my end for a minute if you want to hear me.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So for the very few number of people that we have listening, for a little context, our parents have just moved to like the middle of nowhere, Colorado. And they are kind of
next to the Unabomber. Just kidding.
Anyway, so they decided to go through all of their stuff, as one does when you move house. And Mom, I guess, decided that she didn't want to keep any of my crap from childhood. I can't imagine why, but so she sent it to me. She sent me like my baby blanket and a whole bunch of stuff. She kept a lot of stuff that I was surprised that she actually kept. For example, I got into this box that she sent me, and there was a bag, a little Ziploc bag, and I remember having this bag because I remember liking it when I was like in middle school because I thought it made me look edgy because it had pictures. They weren't even like actual pins, but they were pictures of pins on this bag.
Do you have the bag? I want to see it.
Yeah, I do have the bag. Okay, let me go get it. Okay. Hold on. All right, let's see. So here it is. This is what it looks like.
I remember.
You remember this bag?
bag?
So I'm going to do my best to describe it, but it's basically like a plastic vinyl-y.
We should take a picture of it and put it on the Instagram and
I can
Facebook
try to
group.
do that.
We should do that.
Yeah, I can do that. But it has like pictures of all of these pins on it. And like one of them says Elvis has left the building. Another one is like I heart punk. And there's another one that has a skull on it. And I remember being like 13 years old and being like, I am so edgy because I have this plastic bag that says I'm with stupid on it. And thought it was like so cool. But it's probably about the size of like a mailing envelope. And I at some point decided that it was going to be my notes bag. So all of the notes that like my girlfriends basically in school, all my friends, if they were writing like notes to me, because again, for the kids out there, cell phones weren't really a thing. I mean, they were, but not like
Not
what they are
really.
now. Like if you wanted to send a message to somebody, you wrote it down and put it in their locker. That was how you
Yeah.
that was how you texted in
Yeah.
the early 2000s.
Yeah.
There was no
So you should preface, or you should clarify that these are personal notes that you wrote back
handwritten.
and forth to your friends to gossip, not
Yes.
school notes.
Yeah, they're not school notes. It's
Not
like
education notes.
yeah, like most of them were, "Hey, I'm bored. Anyway, who are you crushing on these days?" That's like a
Right.
summary of 90% of these notes in this bag. That's what it was for back when I was like 13 or something. And I kept all of these notes. So none of them are obviously notes that I wrote. They were all notes that I received. But I had some really fun ones in there. But anyway, so Jessica, if you're listening, I think these ones are from you and I think you'll enjoy it. Oh, yep, they are. Okay, so I'm going to read you a couple of these notes.
Wait,
from
which
our...
Jessica? Just say last name, first letter.
It's Jessica's.
Bleep bloop.
Okay.
You know who you are if you're listening.
Yeah. Long time no
So-
see, girlfriend.
I know, long time no see. I hope your family's doing great. Anyway, I'm going to read a couple notes that she wrote. And not because I think that she was, and not because I'm making fun of her. I'm mostly making fun of you, Paige, because it's pretty funny.
No.
You need to hear these things. You do. It's pretty good. And you should know that I probably instigated all of the things that she's saying, and you should not take them at heart because it was me, and I think she was just responding to me. Okay?
Okay, I'm scared.
No, they're funny. They're funny. Okay, so wait, I should also give a little background. So back in the day, one of Paige's first boyfriends, his name was
Bleep bloop.
Okay.
Oh, God.
And he was
No, wait. I should clarify. He wasn't my boyfriend. We just went to homecoming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we weren't.
Well, not according to these notes, anyway.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure you're remembering that correctly?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read you this notes.
Maybe she's remembering what she wanted everybody else to remember.
No, because we never
Maybe?
even hung out before homecoming. And homecoming was awful, so we never hung out after.
Just giving
That's
you
not
shit.
true. I remember him coming over to our house and jumping on our trampoline and breaking our trampoline.
What? Wait, is this the same? Wait, are you sure?
Yes. So I'm just gonna read this to you.
Okay.
Are you ready? But wait
No,
first. I
I'm
should
not.
tell. So I'm gonna refer to, just to keep, everybody's anonymity, intact. I'm gonna refer to the people in this note. Your ex-boyfriend is gonna be T,
Okay.
and the other person that I'm gonna reference is going to be D. Okay?
Okay.
All right, you ready? This is from our good friend Jessica.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Hey, hun. Should we tell Paige about T and D in the hall? Okay, ready?
What?
The rest of this isn't important, but I'm reading it anyway because this is what teenagers wrote about back in the day. I'm going
Which was
on
a
our...
Wednesday, by the way.
It probably was.
Yeah.
I'm going on our field trip for our SFL during third, meaning third period. So I won't be at lunch. Anyway, I'm bored. Sorry it's so short. Right back, Jess.
Oh my gosh. So what happened between T
Do you want to
and D?
know?
Yeah, you guys are dicks, and you never told me that my boyfriend was clearly cheating on me. How awful of you.
Hold on a second, because it gets
Although,
better.
in case you cut out the first part, we weren't actually a couple.
I don't believe that.
We
I think these
weren't.
notes suggest differently.
We never kissed. I think we held hands one time.
That's couple material right there. Anyway.
No, it was not a thing. We were not boyfriend and girlfriend, but whatever.
Maybe he was running around telling everybody that.
Maybe. Or maybe
Yeah.
that's why he was running
Maybe
around
Jillian.
with D, because you were never actually together. I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
apparently Jess thought differently, and I am assuming I did too. Okay, you ready for part 2 of this?
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, Paige just doesn't seem like a person who, no offense to T, would go out with a guy like T.
Oh.
Well,
Good thing we didn't say his whole name.
I know.
Oh, man. Oh, that's so sweet of her. She thought I was better.
Yes.
She
Anyway,
thought I
but
was too good for him. Aw,
this
Jessica,
gets
you're a
pretty
doll.
good. This gets pretty good, and I'm going to bury the lead here for a second because it's. Anyway, let me just finish reading this.
Okay.
Oh, well. Was the cop surprised when you guys asked him for a ride?
What? You
Oh,
asked
well,
a
did you
cop
have
for-
fun? Oh my gosh, the Dead Poet Society is kind of boring. The second time. It's at the part where Neil is in the play. Yeah. Anyway, sorry so short. Right back, Jess.
Oh my god.
So
When
I
were
don't
we
know.
in... When were we riding in a cop car?
I don't know. That's why I mentioned that we were going to kind of bury the lead on that one, but I wanted to read it because it's like, apparently we went up to a cop and asked for a ride.
That is hilarious. What in
Yeah.
the world were we doing when we needed a police officer to drive us home? Holy
I
shit.
don't know. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
That is funny. Oh my god. Oh my god.
A little sneak peek into your, I guess, dating life.
I feel like I had a way more zesty dating life than what those portray because I
You
don't
did.
even remember him.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember him. We went to homecoming. But that was it. That's all I remember ever happening was we went to homecoming. I mean...
Well, I don't know. Apparently me and Jess thought that it was more than what you think it is, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Wow, that
I
is
thought that was
funny.
pretty funny.
I feel like
And
there's
there was a
more.
lot in this bag that I don't remember a lot of it. Most of it was
Yeah.
just kind of like 13-year-olds being 13-year-olds, but there were other things that I was like, wow, I just don't remember that happening. It was kind of weird, but a little trip down memory lane for me today, thanks to Mom sending me all of my childhood stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. That's really funny.
All right, I'm sure they've heard us babble long enough. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
Thank
okay.
you for bearing with us. We thought that was fun.
That's okay. Okay, so now that we've been chit-chatting for like an hour now.
Probably.
Yowza. We should probably get into this. So normally we choose each other's themes and we alternate. And last week Jillian chose my theme, which was a creepypasta. So this week I'm supposed to share a creepypasta. However, I'm sorry to disappoint you all. I am not doing a creepypasta.
This is the one time.
I know. This is not going to be a regular thing, but as I was digging through the creepypastas, my mental health plummeted, past grounds, the ground level.
And it was
into
because
the
of
ground.
the creepypasta, right?
Yeah, I was reading a lot of them to try to find the right thing, and it was really messing with me psychologically. I was
fair.
not sleeping well. I was feeling like it was letting things into my life that I didn't want in my life. If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I, for my own sanity, was like, I called Jillian yesterday and was like, hell fucking no, I'm not doing this.
That was exactly what you said.
I was like, I'm sorry, I know we're recording tomorrow, but I'm not doing this. And I don't care what you say, I'm just not going to do it. And I was like, I can't sleep. I'm so tired all the time. I'm feeling like there's ghosts in my room every night attacking me, and I just can't do it. I can't do it.
It's fine.
So I went down a different route completely. So I'm actually going to share an alien story because, in my opinion, an alien story is very, could it be real? Could it not be real? There's a lot of question mark in that, which is where creepypastas kind of tend to become famous, is when there's a lot of like, is this real? Is it not real? We don't really know. So I thought an alien story would be a good little segue.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Into the not creepypasta, but supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah,
world.
I think that's fair. And I think if anybody's curious how we're going to do this in the future, I think if one of us wants to cover a creepypasta, we kind of decided that we have to be very specific on which creepypasta it is.
To cover, yeah.
Yeah.
Because most creepypastas are literally just horror fiction.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are just stories that are, some of them are 5 minutes long, some of them are like 3 hours to read through.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them are more like Slender Man, where there's like lots of internet
lore
influence
mm-hmm.
that's happening. A lot of people are reporting same things, you know, to make the experience more exciting. But generally speaking, that's not what a creepypasta is. They're just fictional, scary stories.
Yeah.
And I stopped watching horror movies when I was in high school for a fucking reason. Because they really fuck with me. I can't do it. I can't. If I can't sleep, I can't function, and I have fucking kids.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if I don't sleep at night, I still have to get up at 7 a.m. and take care of my kids all day.
That's fair.
So I have to do stories that I'm going to be able to still go to sleep after reading them.
Yeah. So maybe if we do creepypastas, maybe I'll be the one that does them.
Yeah, but they can't be too scary because we record
then I have to tell you.
night.
Yeah, that's true.
We record at night after my kids go to sleep, hopefully.
Yeah, if they're feeling it that night.
Yeah, if they're feeling it that night. Tonight they did okay. So, yeah, that's kind of today. I apologize, but y'all are not getting a creepypasta from me today.
That's all right. I'm sure.
And it will probably never happen in the future unless it's something like Slender Man or the Russian Sleep Experiment, and that's about it.
Okay. And do you want to explain because I'm sure people will be wondering, like, why creepypasta scares you so much, but true crime doesn't?
Oh my god. I don't know.
I don't know either, honestly.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's just an interest.
Yeah, it's just an interest in, I don't know, but there's like something about the unknown. And I mean, the thing with creepypastas is they're literally meant to just scare you beyond belief.
Yeah.
You know, like true scary stories that, like, you know, haunted houses and things like that. Like, you just tell people like, oh yeah, the door slammed, you know, or I saw someone walk by.
Mm-hmm.
Not like this person was then like stalked by this creature in the woods, and then
they get, creepypasta can take it from 0 to 100 in like a half a second if they want to.
Yeah.
Whereas like haunted houses can kind of have somewhat of a slow burn.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and same thing with true crime. You can kind of wrap your head around it a little bit, and it's an evil in the world that you feel. The fact that you can like touch and feel it is different than the imagination kind of taking hold and just running with it. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to describe it. Yes.
Yeah. So I get it, and I'm the same way.
You're so much better with words than I.
I don't know about that, but thank you anyway. All right. So tell us what you're doing tonight.
Okay, well, Kyle, this one's for you. I'm doing the Kentucky Goblins.
Look on his face. He looks so stoked. So I don't know anything about the Kentucky Goblins.
You do.
I do?
I know you do.
Okay.
Because a podcast that we both listen to very frequently has covered it. So
okay, maybe
I didn't know that when I started researching this. So I did not do that intentionally. But this is just kind of what we picked. And then once I started reading it, I was like, oh, yeah, I know this one, actually. I know this one very well because I listened to it not that long ago. So.
All right. Do you want to
It
shout
may
out
ring
that
some
podcast?
bells. And that's why we drink.
Okay. I figured.
Yeah, so they're great over at And That's Why We Drink. So if you haven't listened to them, go check them out.
After you listen to us.
Yes, listen to us first, but give them some love too. Although they're quite a bit bigger than we are. So maybe share our podcast before you share theirs.
Yeah, I think they're they're almost to episode 200. So
yeah,
they've been around.
They've been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, the Kentucky Goblins.
I'm excited about this.
So my sources are, I have more than one source this time.
Okay. I think you just got
History.com.
lucky the last time.
That's true. Well, I try to find the one website that has everything I need, and then I just go back to other websites and fill in things, and that's what I did with this one, but I used more than one to fill it in.
Yeah.
So, and this is a very, very sensationalized story, so there's a lot of information about it, though I will say that all the articles had different things in them.
Okay.
Which is how it typically goes when you have an alien experience, encounter, whatever you want to call it, or a cryptid. There's lots of, people saying that this is what happened and it didn't. So I don't really know what parts are true and what parts aren't, but I just put it all in there. Because it makes it more exciting.
Okay.
So I put all the juicy stuff in that I found, though some of it may or may not actually be what happened. But since it was, well, I'll tell you in a second. There was one website that seemed to have more exciting stuff in it than the rest.
Oh,
but it was a legit website, so I don't know.
All right.
And it's going to surprise you, actually. Okay, so we've got History.com from the History Channel, I think. That the logo was in the corner, so I'm assuming it's the History Channel. But the article is called How the Little Green Men Phenomenon Began on a Kentucky Farm.
Okay.
And that was written by Volker Jansen.
That's
and I will
a name.
say, I know, I'm assuming he's foreign, and some of his writing led me to confirm that, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Sure.
That's just me speculating. I don't know if he is or not, but there were some typos. Okay, and then I did use Wikipedia on this one just to verify all the family members' names, because there's a lot of family members.
I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with Wikipedia. I really don't. I mean, I know it's got its things, but I donated to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Just because it's, I feel
they're not up on the pseudosciences.
Okay.
Okay.
Something to think about. I did donate to them the other day.
I probably should, but I will when I have more money. Anyway, so this other one was the one that I was like, okay, this one's a little bit dramatized. That's the word.
Iffy.
Sorry.
Okay.
And it actually came from Country Living.
Okay. Love it. Okay.
Which is hilarious. It just made me laugh that there was this article on the Country Living website. But it is called The Eerie Story Behind the Small Town Everyone is Flocking to for the Eclipse This Summer. That's the name of the article.
Right. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that one was interesting. And that was written by Maria Carter.
Okay.
And that's the one that seemed definitely more dramatic than the other versions. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, it's Country Living, so I would hope that they would want their journalists to research a little bit more.
Sure.
But there were things that were in that one that were not in any of the other ones.
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
Yeah. I found a lot of that when I was doing Shakers too. It's just there was a lot of information about one thing in one article and then nothing about it in another. And so that's how I ended up with 8 sources.
Yeah. So
Well, that can come down to like editorialship, trying to limit what they think their readers will tolerate.
Yeah, that's true too.
yeah, it was definitely an exciting read.
Okay. I'm ready to hear about it.
Okay, so our story begins on August 21st, 1955, when the Sutton family farm plays host to some strange creatures who seem very curious in the family that lives there.
Oh,
That's my
okay.
little intro to the
Like
story.
it. Good job.
To get you a little excited.
Yes, I am excited.
So, our players in this story, so all of our little characters, we have Billy Ray Taylor and his
Played
wife.
by Billy Ray Cyrus in the
Oh my
Lifetime
God.
movie
Oh my
of
God.
this story.
They would
That's
make
not
a
true. There's no
Lifetime
Lifetime
movie
movie.
about this, but they would. They would. Well, I don't know. They don't do alien stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, so Billy Ray Taylor and his wife, June. And he's actually friends with someone I'm going to mention in a second. But then there's Glennie Lankford, and she is the widowed landowner. And she was kind of considered the matriarch of the family. She, ran the shit. Everybody listened to Mama Glennie, and
Mama Glennie.
yeah, her name was Glennie.
Yeah.
And you did what she wanted you to do, and you didn't fuck with her.
Okay. All right, she's getting shit done, Mama Glennie.
Yeah, so that's kind of the image of who Glennie was.
All right.
And all her children, or I think most of her children, maybe all of them, I'm not sure. So there's Lonnie, Charlton, and Mary, and they were younger, under the age of 18. I want to say teenage-ish range. And then there's Mary. She may have been younger too. Then there's Lucky, and he was older. He was from, his actual name was Elmer.
Oh, okay.
He
That was
went
my
by
next
Lucky.
question. What's his real name?
He went by Lucky. And fun fact about Lucky, he worked at a traveling circus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to be friends with Lucky.
And Billy Ray and his wife June, the first people that I mentioned that are in this story, they also worked with Lucky at the traveling circus. And they were there at Lucky's house with him and the rest of the family.
All right.
Then there's the other son that Glennie had, and that's JC, and he's also a little bit older. And then JC and Lucky both had their wives there, and their names were Vera and Aline. And then Aline's brother, Opie.
Oh my god, there's so many people.
His name was actually O.P. O.P.
Okay.
But it's funner to call him Opie.
Sure, yeah. There's so many of them.
This is it.
Okay.
But that's a key thing, is that there was a lot of people here. That's like a key part of this story, was that there was a lot of people.
Give me a rundown of their first names one more time.
Okay, so we have Billy Ray, his wife June. Okay, so let me just preface, though. The only ones you really need to remember are Lucky, Billy Ray, and Glennie.
Okay, that's helpful.
So the mom, the older son, and the son's friend from the circus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And the one thing I want to point out about, so Lucky and Billy Ray normally didn't live at the house, obviously, because they worked for the circus and it traveled around the country. But the circus was on a little bit of a break. So they went home, and Billy Ray came with him and was staying with Lucky at his mom's farm. Okay?
Okay.
So that's why they're all there. Oh,
I wonder how big this farm was. That's a lot of people.
I think it was a 3-bedroom house.
Okay.
But
it's better than a 1-bedroom house.
Yeah.
For all those people.
And I don't know if everyone was sleeping there.
Mm-hmm.
I assume Aline's brother, OP, wasn't going to sleep there. But I don't know. And it may even just be that JC and his wife were just visiting to see Lucky. while he was home from his work stuff. I don't know, but
Okay.
there was a lot of people there.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the story of the Kentucky Goblins, and we're going to start with the Sutton family's like experience. So this is what had happened to them while they were on this farm. So at about 7 p.m. on Sunday evening, again, this is August 21st, 1955, so it's a Sunday, Billy Ray was out in the backyard at the well. They had a well because they didn't have like running water there, but he was getting water from the family well outside, and he witnessed a silvery looking flying object in the sky.
Okay.
And it passed over the house, and he described it as very bright and that it had colorful exhaust fumes. He described it like all the colors of the rainbow.
That sounds
Fun.
so fun.
I know.
Like a UFO farting rainbows.
Yes.
It just sounds really fun.
I know.
It's like something you'd find on a weird t-shirt or something.
We should make a t-shirt like that.
Yeah, we should.
UFO
Yeah, the
farting rainbows.
UFO farting rainbows.
So anyway, yes, it had these really colorful exhaust fumes, and it passed over the house, stopped in midair, and then dropped down to the ground in the woods. Because they had a lot of land, so there was like woods surrounding the house.
Did it like lower itself down, or did it just like peter out and drop out of the sky?
I think it just lowered, but in his quote, he said it dropped.
Okay.
So I don't really know
on that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I assume it just lowered based on the behavior that happens after this.
Okay.
I think it was intentional.
All right.
So, okay. So upon returning to the house and explaining this to the rest of the family, again, this is the family friend, Billy Ray, that saw this part. And he goes back and tells everyone else what happens, and they're just kind of laughing at him like, oh my God, you're so ridiculous, kind of stuff like that.
Oh, poor guy.
I know. And they get on with their evening, though I would like to point out that they were not drinking.
Okay.
No one was drinking at the house. Mama Glennie had a very, very strict rule that they were not allowed to have alcohol on the premises.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll get into that at the end, but so we know that everyone wasn't like smashed or anything like that.
All right.
But anyway, so they're just kind of laughing and just like, oh my God, you're being ridiculous, whatever. So then about an hour later, the dog starts barking. He's inside, or the dog, he, she, I don't know.
They.
Wouldn't stop barking, and it was looking out the back door. So Lucky and Billy Ray went to the back door to see what the dog was barking at, to find a strange glow coming from outside.
That's ominous.
Eerie.
Yeah.
Among the glowing light, they also see a small humanoid creature.
Okay, that's extra ominous.
Yeah, walking towards the house.
Stop it. No.
So the description of this creature is it's 3.5-ish feet tall. It has an oversized head that was almost perfectly round. Its arms were really long and almost touched the ground.
Stop. Ew.
And it had talons.
No.
And
no wonder the dog was pissed.
I know.
Jeez.
And it had oversized eyes that glowed with a yellowish light.
That's disturbing. I don't like it.
Yes. And the skin gave off an eerie shimmer that made it look as if it was made of metal. Like silvery metal.
Ew. It's like, that's like Signs. Remember how the aliens in Signs kind of like, they almost
Well, they were camouflaged. They could camouflage, so their skin color changed.
Yes, but I remember there was a scene where you could like, it was when it was in the living room trying to poison the kid.
Oh.
You could actually see it, and its skin looks kind of shiny, metallic-ish, if I
No, it
remember correctly.
doesn't. Because it, like, what it does is it has, like, fleshy colored skin, but it changes colors depending on its surroundings.
Yeah, but I remember it just kind of, like, shimmered. But when you
I
can
really
see
don't
it was,
remember
when
that.
you can see it in that scene, it was kind of brownish, like, fleshy colored, but it seemed kind of shimmery.
I
Anyway,
guess I
it's
don't
fine. I'm
remember
reaching.
that.
Continue.
So, I do have a picture that I can
Okay.
share my screen in just a second. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. Okay, I do. I remember seeing these things. Yeah,
Yeah.
at some point.
So, and this is actually the description that Billy Ray gave someone
Okay.
to draw. So this is like the the sketch,
It almost
the police
looks like an
sketch
ant.
artist sketch
The police sketch artist, if the police
of
did
the
a sketch.
alien thing.
Sorry, there's
Yeah.
my dog in the background. You hear him click-clacking around.
But you can see that they have like this really weird, like, I mean, their arms are really long and they have like nails.
And the talons.
Yeah, and like
And
short
the
legs.
The feet look like, I mean, you can
Stumpy.
tell he wasn't really focused on the feet. Like, you can kind of tell that that's not what he was really paying attention to.
Yeah, totally.
But the feet in this, they almost looked like little Hershey's Kisses.
Yeah, they do, kind of. Oh, that's funny. And then this one is actually the same sketch artist, but
Just different, like,
the people who were telling this sketch artist was actually Lucky, JC, and OP Parker. So the
Okay.
two older sons and then their brother-in-law were the
Mhm.
ones who actually described this one, and you can tell that it looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah, the head shape
Is a little different.
is different, but otherwise it's, yep, that's pretty spot on.
And for anyone that wants to look at this, we can put it on our Instagram and stuff, but I just typed in Hopkinsville Encounter. So that's HOPKINSVILLE Encounter. That's where this takes place. It's Hopkinsville, Kelly, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And they have tons and tons of artist renditions of what these look like.
Yeah.
So
the gray one with the glowing eyes is very
so this
weird.
one, obviously someone made somewhat recently, but it
Yeah.
portrays like the glowing eyes and stuff like that. But
Ew, I don't like it.
And then
And the
there's, like,
relative size to a person in the background there.
Yeah, that was interesting too. It's
oh
like a
wow, I
toddler
didn't even
size.
notice that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, they were really small. Yeah, and then actually there are pictures of the family that I found. So this is, I believe this is Lucky, and this is JC.
Oh, okay.
Over there. So there's actual pictures of the people. So they look very normal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So that's kind of what they look like. And they see this at the back door walking up to the house. So obviously very freaked out. The two men, so this is Lucky and Billy Ray. They go and grab their guns. We have a shotgun and a rifle. And I do not know what the actual type of shotguns and rifles that they had because I intentionally deleted it because I just don't care. Sorry, Kyle.
I just don't care either.
It
All we need to know is they had
was
guns.
like, oh, it's a something shotgun. And I was like, yeah, we don't need that shit.
These kind of stories, I don't care.
It's not like important. It's not an important. And they all had it in there, and I was like, why? Does it really?
It was
fucking matter?
probably some kind of hunting rifle. Let's just go
Yeah.
with
Well,
that.
one
It
had a
doesn't
rifle
matter.
and one had a shotgun, so there was range on these weapons. I guess maybe that's why they want you to know. But anyway, so they fired at the creature, and they did actually hit it. And what happened was it ended up kind of flipping back, like when it got hit, and then it like scrambled upright, and then it ran back into the woods.
Ew! I'm picturing it like scurrying like a spider almost. I know it wasn't crawling on its hands and feet, but
Yeah.
the idea of it like flipping.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
it kind
and
of
then-
flipped backwards and then it like got back up and then ran back out into the woods.
Don't like that.
Yeah, but they did hit it, but it didn't seem to like, other than like maybe knocking it over, it didn't really seem that it was like injured.
Injured in any way?
Yeah.
Okay.
And any kind of rifle is going to have some serious stopping power unless it's like a 22 rifle, which I mean, no
I think it
self-respecting
was.
person really.
I think it was a 22.
Oh man, I would not take a 22 on stuff like that. Good lord,
Let me see.
that wouldn't stop anything.
I mean,
Like,
maybe that's why they had it. Maybe it was just for like squirrels or something.
Well, yeah, that's what those are for, like for varmints.
I'm almost positive it was a 22, and now I can't find it. Oh, wait. 12 gauge shotgun and a 22.
Oh, okay, yeah, that wouldn't have done hardly anything.
Hardly anything. Okay.
They probably
Not even
use
to
it-
3-foot men.
No,
3
I mean,
foot tall creatures.
it'd go right through them, most likely, because I mean, you can't. Back then, you didn't have like hollow points didn't exist in 22 unless you like, did old school thing and like took your knife and like cut a cross on the top. So
Stop.
yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like that would have just a 22 long rifle would have just at
Not
close
done
range, it would have just done virtually nothing unless it's like in a raccoon, it would take several shots.
Wow.
Seriously?
Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my
seriously.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, unless you got them in
That's
the
a good
head.
point of view.
But I mean, or unless you took your knife and you cross cut your bullets, which I mean maybe they did. It's possible. But
They did live in the back country.
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's kind of the kind of stuff that is
Down
certainly
south.
possible. They couldn't have they could have done that, and that could have significantly increased the stopping power of that round. It just kind of depends on that. But that 12 gauge though, that could at close range. Oh man, that would have stopped just about anything.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. So, shortly after that, the family saw a similar looking creature appear in a side window of the house.
No.
Yeah, looking into the house.
Oh.
Like it was looking in on them.
My god, I
Yeah.
hate it so much.
Super creepy. So then, of course, you do as you do, and you shoot your window.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me just kind of thinks like that is the only barrier that you have between you and whatever is out there, and you just destroyed it.
But
It did-
if you think it's right there, and you think that might save you,
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe that's true. It's hard
Yeah.
to know what you would do in a situation like that, I guess. But
Yeah. The one thing, though, is that it said it was just the screen of the window, so it may not have had glass in it, but
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
that's
super
true.
sure.
Okay.
But anyway, again, they did hit it, but it still just ran away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so
and they believe
uncomfortable.
this one was a different one. They believe this was a
Okay.
different
So there's
one.
they
don't
now
it's
know
the
that
same
there's
one.
probably multiples.
Yeah, there was like 12 of them, was what they reported.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, under siege by weird looking tiny things.
Yes, and that's literally what they described it was, that their house was under siege by, like, aliens. So-
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah,
it's
horrible.
like either
right?
that or like the world's weirdest prank done by like a preschool or something.
Oh my god, with small children.
Yeah, just
Holy
like little
moly.
kids.
We're just gonna have you put yourself in danger. You might get shot, but it'll be just fine.
It'll be okay. This weird looking helmet will protect you.
This'll be fun. Don't blow your cover.
If they shoot at you, just run away.
Yeah.
Oh
You
my
better
God.
Get the fuck out of the way. Okay. Anyway, so then they quickly realize that these are pretty much impervious to bullets.
Oh god.
So at some point, things are getting a little bit heated. They're freaking out. They're all kind of crouching down, looking out the windows and the doors and things like that, kind of waiting to see what happens. And Glennie made a comment. So I have a quote from Glennie. Again, this is the Mama Glennie, the lady who runs the shit here. She says, I went out in the hallway and crouched down next to Billy when I saw one approaching the door. It looked like a 5-gallon gasoline can with a head on top and small legs. It was shimmering of bright metal like on my refrigerator.
What?
Yeah, so that's how she described it. Like, they were really big barrel chested.
Yeah, like kind of chesty.
Yeah, with small legs, and they were really shiny, like metal
For a
shiny.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
Remind me what year this is?
1955.
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Drink. I'm all out.
Oh, I know, me too.
Of course.
Gotta fix that.
I'm out of wine.
I know, and I've already had 2 cocktails. I have to limit myself.
I drank half the bottle. It
Impressive.
wasn't completely full, so I've drinking a whole bottle of that before. In one sitting. I shouldn't admit that. Only one time did that happen. Okay, anyway, sorry. So the excitement of the evening, has obviously escalated. But it gets even more dramatic when Billy Ray decides to go outside and go onto the porch and kind of look around and see what's going on.
Why would he think that's a good idea?
I don't know. He was a brave circus guy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He probably figured he'd seen weirder.
Yeah. Okay, so he goes outside and he just stays on the porch where they have an overhanging roof. And everyone else stays in the house, but they're by the door watching.
Mm-hmm.
And they see a claw hand reach down from on top of the roof and grab his hair.
No!
And they yank him back inside.
Oh my god!
And I know, isn't that creepy? That's my worst nightmare.
Just it reminds me just a little bit of salad fingers.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna touch your hair just a little bit. Ooh, so creepy.
Yeah, it is really creepy.
If you don't know what salad fingers is, you can YouTube it.
Don't. It's gross.
It's gross.
Okay, so as they're pulling Billy Ray back in, Lucky runs out into the yard and shoots up onto the roof.
Right.
In one article, in that Country Living article, it said that he did shoot one and it fell off the roof, but ran into the forest. But I was not able to confirm that on other articles. So what I understand to maybe have happened is he just shot up into the roof and that was kind of it. But I don't know.
Okay.
There may have been one up there that fell. I'm not super sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then at that same time when he shoots that one, the family sees another one in the tree. Next to the house, up on a branch. Yeah. So they yell at him and he turns around and he shoots at it. He hits it, but it floats down onto the ground.
Floats?
Yeah, it floated off the branch and down onto the ground and then it ran away.
I have all the heebie-jeebies right now.
Yeah. So that was kind of something that other article said a lot, that they would float down. Ew. But not all the articles said that, so I don't really know which.
We're gonna say
story,
sure.
But yeah. So then, shortly after that, a similar thing happened where the family sees 2 of them sitting in a tree. And they then go out again and try to shoot at them. And they do, but again, they just kind of float backwards away from the house. They didn't go down to the ground at this time, but they like floated backwards into the woods a little bit where they couldn't see them.
Dear God.
Yeah, icky, right?
Yes.
So they're like hiding in the trees and they're just being very evasive but curious at the same time, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, after like seeing these things like in the trees and on the roof, and one of them's like touched them, and then they're like approaching the house, they were like, okay, we obviously can't really like kill them. So maybe we should just stay inside.
Yeah. That seems like a reasonable assumption.
I know. I'm proud of their bravery for really giving it a good college shot, but it's time to just admit defeat at this point, right?
Yeah, it's time to call it. Yep, agreed. Agreed.
So they decide to go inside, and they're just kind of waiting it out a little bit to see what happens. And they're just listening. Everyone's staying really quiet. And at one point, they hear some scratching on the roof. Just like vomit. So gross.
I just I can't. I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, and
I feel like we're gonna fucking die.
They must have thought that they were going to die.
Yeah.
And it's just, and then it's like the fear of.
And they had children in the house. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so scary.
Yeah.
Like when there's like obvious physical beings doing this stuff, like, yeah, I'd have the guns out too. I mean, shoot.
I know. Yeah. At least I will say, at least they had them. It made them, not that they did anything, like the guns didn't affect them, but still it probably made them at least feel a little safer.
Yeah. And to be clear, like a 22, it's not gonna
do much.
Well, it's not gonna do a ton. Like, you know, if a person gets hit by a 22 in the body, you'll be able to get up and run away.
Oh man!
Wow,
that's a bummer. I mean that's sorry.
But like a small thing, it's gonna incapacitate you. It may not kill you initially, but it'll incapacitate you.
And it does seem that they at least kept them at bay, because it was clear that they were trying to get in. Like, it was very, very clear that they were wanting to come into the house. And more than likely, I mean, you know, attacking back, it probably prevented something like that from happening. So that's, you know, something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they start hearing the scratching on the roof. And this is another one of those things, like, was in that one article, so I don't know. But it said that Lucky went outside to go see if it was on the roof, and there was one trying to get in through the roof. And he shot at it again. But also, once again, it just ran away once it had been shot.
Well, I mean, at least it kind of seems to be scaring them away.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's at least keeping them at bay. Yeah. But it's not like they have this endless supply of, you know, bullets, cartridges. I don't know.
Can you tell we don't own guns?
Am I saying that right, Kyle? Is that what they're called?
Kyle, our resident gun owner.
I just want to call them bullets.
That's a common term. That's acceptable.
Okay.
I would call them cartridges, but
cartridges. I did say that, and bullets. I covered my bases. Okay, so so far everyone in the house is still unharmed, so that's good. At around 11 p.m., the group decides, okay, we can't stay here anymore. This is we can't last all night doing this.
Oh my God, so scary. Like,
I know.
The thought of having to make a decision like that.
I know, with children, too.
Yes, and there's a lot of them. It's not like there's just a couple. There's, how many? There was like 6 people at minimum?
It said there was like 10 people in the house.
Oh my gosh.
10 to 12 people was what I
And then getting all of those people out of this very isolated house, I'm sure.
And
to somewhere else.
Yeah. So they do decide to take their cars. So they,
Okay.
book it to their cars, and they make it
Uh-huh.
to their car. Cars, I'm assuming, more than one.
Yeah.
And they drive away, and they get away. And they go to the police station, and they explain what happened, and they do have the official police reports on Google, honestly, so you can easily find those. But it's interesting when you see an actual police report. It's like, wow, it's
That's how
like
it was
different than
done.
just reading an article about it. But like when you actually see it, it's like, wow, shit, this was a real thing.
Yeah,
Like,
this is official.
people actually experienced something like this, or felt like they did at least. So the police are like, wow, this is weird. I don't really believe that this is really what's going on. However, you've admitted that you've shot your weapons into the forest where your neighbors could potentially be.
Oh, no.
So we maybe should go check this out just to make sure no one was accidentally killed.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
I know,
This is why I
yeah.
don't own guns, by the way. Well, there's other reasons too, but that's the main one. It's like irresponsible.
Yeah. So, but I will say, for something like this, they sent more than what was maybe necessary. They actually sent, well, for what they described, this seems about right. But for police officers who didn't really believe their story, maybe they did actually believe their story and they just didn't want to admit it because they sent a lot of people. So the state police came, the local police came, the military police from Fort Campbell. So Fort Campbell is nearby this area.
Okay.
And so the military police came, and a photographer from the Kentucky New Era came.
They're like, let's send so many people to investigate this.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we can't forget the photographer.
Yeah, we can't forget the photographer. So they all go back to the house to see what's going on. And they find the shell casings from the gunshots around the house. But they don't really find any other evidence. There was, like I said, in that one article on Country Living, it said that they found like a circular glowing spot in the grass, but I wasn't really able to confirm that, so I don't know if that was actually a thing.
Okay.
It was also said to have like a glowing spot on a fence, but someone did say, well, I'll get into what someone said about that later. But
Okay.
so that was maybe found. We're not super sure, but what was reported was nothing of substance was found in the area other than the shell casings from the gun.
That's a bummer.
I know. I know, right?
Oh my gosh.
They also looked around the house to see if maybe they had been hiding alcohol. They thought maybe they were drunk, kind of something like that. But they didn't find any sort of proof that alcohol was on the premises. And like I said, Glennie was really particular about not having alcohol in the farmhouse.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And the police did kind of mention that this family is well respected. They weren't like troublemakers or anything like that. Like everyone really respected Glennie as like a member of society in the town and things like that. Like they were pretty...
They knew the family and...
Yeah, knew that this was out of character for them to be freaking out about something like this.
Okay. Or to maybe lie about it too.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
well, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
something really must have happened for them to be freaking out like this, because they wouldn't really be making this up. That would be out of character for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Once the police and, like, all the other investigators left, because they didn't really find anything, everyone went to sleep-ish. Like, Billy Ray and Lucky were kind of in the living room watching, making sure that nothing came back. When Lucky is kind of awoken by Glennie screaming.
Ooh.
And he goes in there with his gun and he sees him and Glennie see one of the creatures looking in the window with its like hand on the window.
No.
Yeah, with its
Oh, I
like
don't like
claw
it.
like hand on the screen of the window.
Oh, I don't like it.
I know. So again, he shoots at it, and it runs away. And that was actually the last time they saw one of these creatures.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Jeez. I can't even imagine rolling over in bed
and seeing that.
and
I
seeing
can't even
something like
imagine
that.
sleeping after something like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe she was just so
I'd
exhausted
be like,
that
okay,
it was...
let's go stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know, maybe they didn't really have hotels in this town at the time.
Or money
I'm
to
not
stay
really
in a
sure.
hotel. Who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows? I
maybe.
mean, there's also a lot of them, so they would need
Yeah, there
a
was
few
lot of
rooms,
people.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're speculating, assuming that they had the means and whatever to do that.
So in the morning, the police did come back, and they kind of did another investigation around the house, and they didn't find any evidence of anything. They were looking for, obviously, the place that this like UFO had landed, and footprints and blood trails, because they had supposedly shot these creatures.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
Scratch marks on the roof, and there was nothing. They didn't see anything. So, you know.
What a bummer.
I know.
And that's weird. Like, there were so many of them,
Yeah.
and they didn't leave a trace.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah. There was a local radio station employee named Bud Ledwith, and he actually interviewed the family members separately.
Okay.
He wasn't an investigator, but he was just someone who was interested in this, because once this happened, like, everyone in the town freaking knew.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but he interviewed them individually, the adult members of the family, I should say, and made drawings, and those are the drawings that we looked at.
Okay.
Were the ones that this, like, radio station dude had created based on the accounts of what they had said. And he was actually really impressed with how everyone's stories seemed to line up with what happened.
Yeah.
So he felt like they were being very truthful. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there is a lot of them, you know, like it's somewhat easy to
and the kids
create. Yeah. Well,
you know?
I feel like it's easier to kind of spin a story and remember, you know, certain aspects of the story if you're making it up when there's just like one or two people.
Yeah, but there was a lot.
But when there's like 10,
yeah,
you know, that's impressive.
And with some of them being children, it would be really easy if it was fake for them to like slip up.
Yeah, slip up is better, yeah.
You know, and be less likely to just like make up this huge elaborate story.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. In the following days after the attack, in the days following after the attack, everything was completely like sensationalized. The papers were just all over this story. Everyone wanted to come and see the house. So there was just like people, you know, showing up at their house, you know, because they wanted to see the house that was under siege by these aliens.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it was a huge problem. They couldn't, you know, get any peace really. Eventually it got to the, eventually it got to the point where they, had to start they decided to start like charging people to come see the house.
I mean, I kind of don't blame them.
I know. They're like, we'll let you take pictures of our house for $10. You know,
man.
And people were doing that. Like they wanted to take pictures of the property and they charged them for pictures.
Is that how much they charged? Was $10?
I think so. Yeah.
That's a lot for, what did we say, the 50s?
Yeah. And it was
50s.
like $2 to just walk around and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm assuming they made some money, but of course that meant that a lot of the people in the town were then like, this isn't real. Like, this was all just some fake
A
story
publicity
to get
stunt.
them, to get money and fame out of
Mhm.
this thing. Which, actually, from that fame came this fun fact, which is the newspapers actually ended up falsely reporting on what the description of what these aliens looked like. The family, as we've said they were like gray, silver, metal.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the newspapers accidentally thought they said green.
Oh no! So it's like
So-
little green men.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So that's literally, this is the first time in history that little green men were what aliens were being described as. And since
what
this
a
was,
bummer.
I know, and since this was so sensationalized, it just took off. So then after this was when we got tons of reports of aliens who looked green. Even though they weren't green, they were gray.
Oh man!
I know.
It's either like the world's craziest coincidence, or some of those reports aren't real.
I know, right? What a bummer.
Yeah. Jeez.
Who would ever lie about something like that? Anyway, so yeah, the whole like stigma of like little green men, alien things, that's actually from this story.
Sorry.
Though
Oh,
the
man.
aliens that they saw were not green.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah. So despite the fact that like a lot of the townspeople didn't really believe this story, the Air Force actually did take notice and they were very curious, and actually also Project Blue Book was interested in this as well.
What's Project Blue Book?
So it's actually Kyle's face. You've heard of this too, Jillian. I know you have. You
I
just
just
maybe
don't
don't remember. So
Okay.
Project Blue Book is actually like the UFO alien government group.
Okay.
So they're like the ones, when there's a UFO, they are the ones who make the report on it, and then they like
Okay.
study it.
Okay. All right.
Can I expound on that?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I mean, we're probably going to cover it, Kyle.
Okay.
I want to talk
I'll-
about
I'll-
that.
I'll
'cause it's
leave
a
it
big
at that.
government
I'll leave it at for
conspiracy.
now. I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay.
Okay. Are you sure? You seem like you really want to put some information.
Maybe that can
into
be
that.
one that Kyle can
I
do an
do.
episode on.
I went like Dr. Hynek, the guy that the science mind that was supposed to explain all this stuff away. Like he said that like they wanted us. They told us specifically what they wanted us to tell the public. Like make it seem like it's this.
That's a
Okay.
whole thing. He ended up leaving
So, in your
the
opinion,
company because he
Kyle-
didn't agree with how things were being handled. Like we were all being lied to, and but anyway, yeah, it's a big conspiracy about Project Blue Book. But we'll just maybe leave it at
Okay.
the description that I had, because then we could expand on that later. But
Okay. I do remember that episode, but it's definitely one of those things where I was like, I can't wrap my little head around this right now. I'm just gonna file this away
it
and not
was
remember
hard
it later.
to follow. I will say that. I will agree with that.
Okay.
So anyway, that's Project Blue Book, but they also were interested in this, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because they don't just take on,
Anything.
whamdy-pamdy alien encounters, unless they actually believe that it was a thing.
Okay.
So that's kind of one of the things that's like leads people to really believe that this happened, because honestly, they probably wouldn't be investigating it if there wasn't something that actually happened.
Okay.
Though, of course, their report says it was nothing. But that's like
it probably
classic
was something.
American government.
Yeah.
It was a training exercise. They didn't even say that.
It was a weather balloon.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of, the thing that's like, maybe it did happen. Like, Air
Right.
Force was interested, Project Blue Book was interested and did investigate, but who knows? But there was like one really thorough investigation done kind of privately. And
Okay, that's interesting.
yeah, her name was Isabel Davis, and it was done in 1956, so this was a year-ish after this happened, and Isabel Davis was a ufologist. And that's how you say that, right? Ufologist,
Yeah, I
or is it
think so.
UFOologist?
No, I think it's ufologist.
Ufologist.
Kyle is
Okay.
shaking his head. It's a ufologist.
Kind of what I thought. So she did a really thorough investigation, and in her opinion, the whole thing with like, oh, it's a hoax or a publicity, play, or group hallucinations, folie à deux, if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
I should probably explain. Folie à deux.
I think it's folie à deux.
Adieu.
I think
It's
folie à
French.
deux.
It's a French
Yeah.
word,
Yeah.
and it basically means like group psychosis. It's like where one person, has a psychotic break, and then the people who are really close to them also end up having, share in the like psychosis of the one person.
Yeah. You see it a lot when there's like paired murderers.
Yeah.
Like
and
Bonnie and
twins get
Clyde.
it.
Yeah, twins get it. Bonnie and Clyde. That's like a folie à deux. Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
that
an
one
example.
was considered one of
Well,
those.
I don't know if technically it is, but I feel like it could fall into that category where it's, when people murder together, that's usually a folie à deux. That's like a easier way to kind of wrap your head around it. But yeah, it's a group psychosis. Yeah, you said that correctly.
So anyway, those types of write-offs of this encounter just didn't really jive with her. She didn't really feel like that was something that was like in character for the family. Like I said before, they were really with it. They were all very normal, and they weren't alcoholics.
Except the Carnies.
They're probably more normal than the rest of the
Carnies.
family.
That's true.
You're right. They probably were. They were probably the most normal bunch of
I know.
people.
They were
living
people
their
I'd
true
want to hang out
selves.
with. There you go. There you go. Yes. But yeah, she kind of felt like the family was really normal. They weren't excessive drinkers. She also talked to Glennie a lot about what happened, and she described her as a somber, no-nonsense matriarch of the family.
Love it.
Yes, who didn't like being the center of attention or the limelight that she got from this incident, and had no reason to lie and nothing to gain from this experience. She actually was so traumatized by the experience and people constantly coming to the house too afterwards that she eventually abandoned the house and like moved to the city.
Oh my god, they drove her out of her own house.
Yeah, and
so
she just
sad.
didn't feel safe there anymore, so
I don't blame
she
her.
ended up leaving. Yeah. Which is kind of sad. So that was kind of one thing that this investigator, Isabel Davis, had discovered, was that she just didn't really feel that would fit the character of anyone in the family, but especially Glennie, Mama Glennie.
Okay.
Another investigator also looked into this, and his name was Joe Nickel, and this was actually in 2006, so this was quite a bit later. But he actually worked, you're going to laugh at this.
Okay.
He worked at the International Committee for Skeptical Injury. Oh, wait. He worked at sorry, this isn't as funny as I thought it was because I had a dyslexic moment apparently. So it's not injury. But it was like he worked at a place for skeptical injuries. This is like Harry Potter stuff. This is like Arthur Weasley had a job in the Muggle world, and this would be it.
Yes.
Okay, so
where did he actually work?
Rewind.
Oh my gosh, that sounds hilarious.
I know. We can keep
Skeptical
that
injury.
in.
Like, did that really happen to you? Yes, I'm in a cast. Well, I'm
Skeptical
skeptical.
injury. Oh my god. In my head, I was like thinking like you got injured by aliens, but I don't know if I believe you. Let's investigate this. Skeptical injuries.
That would be the definition of skeptical injury.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia, but let's just say that that's what happened.
I'm on board with that because I also have imaginary skeptical dyslexia.
Injuries of the eye and brain called dyslexia.
Yes. Oh my god.
Okay,
That was
anyway,
ridiculous.
he actually worked at the International Committee for Skeptical Inquiry.
That sounds way less interesting.
I know, although I'm still just like skeptical inquiries. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
his
true.
job is literally to investigate stuff that like sounds weird.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean that. I'm curious how big that job description is. Like, does he investigate things as mundane as like taxes to the extraordinary, like aliens?
Oh, that's a good question.
You know, like
I don't know.
what is the scope of this guy's job?
Well, he was also a paranormal investigator.
Oh, he sounds fascinating.
I know. So we all just want to meet.
He could talk the shit off about your taxes and some ghosts.
Yeah, no kidding. Mr. Joe Nickel, I want to
Yes.
meet you. Tell me about your job if it's not
I
confidential.
want to know about your job and skeptical injuries.
Yeah, skeptical injuries and inquiries. But that's seriously, the whole thing sounds like a job that Arthur Weasley would have.
It kind of sounds like
know?
a made-up job for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so Joe Nickel, Mr. Skeptical Inquiry / Injury / Paranormal Investigator, investigated.
Skeptical injurist. That didn't even make sense, but I'm going with it.
He reviewed the evidence from the incident.
Okay.
He theoretically decided that what Taylor saw wasn't a UFO, but actually a meteor. Because he was reading other accounts from that evening, and other people saw things that lined up more with the meteor in the sky.
Okay.
So he seems to think that it was just a meteor, not a UFO. But that still doesn't, like, well, what did they actually see in their yard
what were
and
these, like,
trying to
tiny things?
get in their fucking house?
Yeah.
So, the other thing is that, as with almost all alien encounters, they get brushed off as what, Jillian? What animal?
I would say they get. I would say most of them think that they're like psychotic or drunk or high
Kyle's
or a
got
weather
it.
balloon.
No, an animal.
Oh, okay.
But does everyone say, like, oh, when I saw an alien, everyone just said it was this animal? What is it?
A raccoon.
No.
I don't know. I'm bad at this.
Owls.
Okay. Kyle was trying to give me a hint and I was not getting it.
Owls are always the culprit in
Big eyes.
alien encounters.
I'm sorry. I was imagining like the whole scope of it, not just like the beings.
I see.
I was imagining like, the actual craft and, the whole
Sorry, I
experience.
should have specified.
Sorry, I probably sounded like a dumbass. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But like every alien encounter, they're always like, oh, it was an owl.
Yes, it was a big owl. A barn owl.
Yes.
The biggest of its kind.
Well, this one, they say, was actually a hoot owl, which is also the technical name for it is the great horned owl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what everyone says it is, and I have a quote from an article, and is the history.com one.
Okay.
Which, with the really long name, so I'm not even going to say it.
That's fair.
Okay, quote. As for the little men, Nickel floated an explanation used for other alien encounter stories, owls. In
Okay.
particular, the great horned owl, aka the hoot owl. They have long wings that could be mistaken for arms, along with talons, yellow eyes, long ears, and a round head. That might
Okay.
match the description of the little men. As for their metallic shine, Nichols suggests that they could have easily been reflecting moonlight on their feathers.
Okay.
I
How
mean,
big is a big horned owl?
Kyle, do you want to look that up?
Well, I've seen them. I mean,
Oh.
in relation to me, it's like maybe half of me, like torso.
Oh,
length.
so they're really big.
Oh, so they
Yeah,
are
they
big.
so
can
they
be
are
big.
about 3.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, I've seen some that are about that big, and like I've seen some jump off of light posts and start flying, and oh my god, their wingspan is impressive.
Really?
Like really, I've seen one jump off a light post and swoop down and pick up a rabbit.
Oh,
and
Oh my gosh,
continue
that breaks
flying.
my heart.
Yeah,
dang.
but like
Okay.
it happened. Yeah, that was my closest encounter with a horned owl. It was just right outside my truck window. But I used to see them all the time where I used to live. They
Okay.
would just hang out. They would just sit on the top of the buildings.
That's
Huh.
scary. Wow.
Okay, like on the roofs and stuff. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, they'd sit on the roofs. Yeah, you could see them. Like you couldn't miss them. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell
Would
the
you
difference
mistake
between
one for a person
no,
or humanoid?
because I mean
Yeah.
I see like, oh, there's an owl. I mean,
Yeah.
and in that kind of area, I'm sure they would have seen them a lot too, if that's
And
what it was.
Like, why
And
would
they
they
could probably tell the difference.
walk? Like, they don't really walk like
Yeah, they wouldn't walk.
No, they don't walk.
around.
No, they don't.
You know.
They don't walk. I've never.
It
seen
would
them
maybe
walk.
explain why they were in the trees, but not explain how many there were, and why they didn't seem to be affected by gunshots or things like that. Like, there's just
Yeah.
holes
Yeah,
in that.
A
you
22 would definitely take out an owl for
know?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
So-
interesting. Well, and it did describe it as like floating. Like you said, how
Yeah.
it like kind of floated, which I guess could be an owl. But I have a really hard time that, even like city living people would see an owl even
And
in the
know it
dark
was an
and
owl.
know it
Yeah.
was an owl. I feel like, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I've never been in that situation, so I guess I don't really know. But
Well,
Yeah.
Some of these behaviors, I mean, you can't.
Yeah,
Most of these
so-
behaviors you cannot boil down to an owl. Like, an
Yeah.
owl's not going to do that stuff. There's no way.
Yeah, so the article did say that like hoot owls or great horned owls are known to be very active at sundown, which is around the time that they first saw some of these creatures. However, they usually are very aggressive, like if you're in their territory or by their nest or something like that. But again, that doesn't explain the large number of them. And then also the thing with the way these creatures behaved, they didn't seem aggressive like someone protecting their space. It mostly seemed like they were really curious about the house and the people inside,
yeah.
not trying to attack per se. Mostly just
And-
observe.
Well, and the thing that Glennie saw in her like
Window.
bedroom window too, that seems like, I mean, I don't, it just seems weird that she could see this thing touching the glass of her window.
And she could see its hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like you would know pretty immediately if that was an owl or not.
Yeah. And that seems like a really weird thing for an owl to do. In the
Yeah,
first
that's just like,
place.
hi, I'm here. I'm just gonna watch you because I'm an owl.
while
and
you
that's,
sleep.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
not really what owls do.
Yeah, that is weird.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other more fantastical thing is that people say that these creatures resemble gremlins.
Ew.
Which, whether or not you believe in gremlins, I don't know. Maybe we'll do an episode on
Do
gremlins
people
sometime.
believe in gremlins?
I guess so. I've
Oh.
never, thought of them as, a true cryptid, but maybe. I would assume, yeah, people thought that that's what these things were.
Okay.
So, but that's kind of where they got the name Kentucky Goblins, was
Oh,
from
okay.
this characteristic of that they look like
Well, and they do look
gremlins.
kind of goblin-y
Yeah, they
a
do.
little bit. Like the picture definitely, like if you picture what a goblin looks like in your head, it's pretty. I
Kind
feel
of
like
that.
it's pretty similar to what was drawn.
Yeah, I would agree. Nowadays, that's kind of the last little bit of history that I have, but nowadays what's going on in Kelly is it's actually kind of a hopping little town.
That's fun.
Yeah, from this incident.
Oh, okay.
Every year they celebrate the anniversary of the incident.
I'm sure the family is like, oh my god.
I
Can we
know.
put
Well,
this
and
to
I don't
rest now, please?
know what members of the family are still alive. I do believe that the daughter, Mary, who was one of the children at this time, is still alive. And I think she's very like, oh my god, they just they've completely sensationalized the terror that we
Yeah.
experienced this night, and it's very not okay. Though don't quote me on that. I didn't read a ton about her and her experience, but she does talk about a lot of this stuff, and from the skimming that I saw, she wasn't super into it.
I kind of don't blame her. I mean, she thought that they were under attack.
Yeah,
I'm
and she
sure.
remembers living at the house after, and people coming over all the time and being very disruptive and being insistent that they come inside, a big problem, and it kind of affected her childhood even. And she felt like, what happened to her mom, Glennie, things just, she had to leave the house and stuff like that. So she just isn't super happy about all this. But they do have an anniversary festival every year, and it's called Little Green Man Days.
That's adorable.
So they have a whole to-do every year. And they have museums and tours and stuff like that all the time in the town. So it's kind of like a mini Roswell now, which is kind of fun. But yeah, so you can go and visit this little town and see where this poor family was terrorized by these goblin alien, whatever things.
Oh my god. I mean, I honestly would probably have a blast at that kind of festival. I think that actually sounds really fun.
I know.
That's interesting.
I thought so too. I thought it sounded fun.
Well,
yeah.
if we ever find ourselves in, what is it, Kentsville? Kelly's?
No, Kelly, I think was, it's Hopkinsville is where they lived, but Kelly, I think, was kind of the
suburb, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, because it was it's kind of Kelly, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Well, if we ever find ourselves in Kelly, Hopkinsville,
or even in
that
Kentucky
time,
in general,
maybe we'll attend the festival.
Hopefully, yeah. We'll have to plan that around that time of year.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so funny. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's fascinating.
Yeah. Sorry it wasn't a creepypasta, but I think I will be able to sleep after that story.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And now we know for the future and going forward.
Don't make me do really scary things.
Okay. All right, I can definitely try to do that. That was a good job. And our first, like, alien story. We haven't
Yeah.
done an alien story yet.
Yeah,
so
and
we
that's
can-
kind of why I went down that road, because we haven't done an alien yet. So I thought it was time.
Yeah, and it was a good one. It was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was fun.
The idea of, like, some long-fingered thing, like, just kind of
Stroking
grazing your hair is...
Oh,
I just
God.
can't stand it.
Yeah, it's icky.
I
Icky.
don't like it.
Kyle, do you have anything to add? Because I know this is right up your alley.
Well, I mean, just like the creature's appearance has evolved since then.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
They apparently now wear black cloaks,
Oh, my God.
and some of them brandish things resembling wands that can do various things to people.
Wait, so people are saying that they still see these? Oh,
Oh,
he's
that's
nodding.
interesting.
So this is a phenomenon that happens all across the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't come across any of that in the research that I was...
So regarding that particular story, you wouldn't. You'd have to. I mean, you'd have to do a little further digging. But like what people encounter now in that area are not the little things, the little,
Gray.
Yeah. Now they wear cloaks and they're accompanied by humans.
Oh, my God.
Weird.
Yes.
Just kind of evolved.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Like the little things that people see now wear cloaks, but there's also people that and full-size humanoids that are brandishing the same kind of wands that these little things are that fuck with people. Like
Whoa.
like
Wow.
they're if you really want to, like, there are some freaking rabbit holes out there if you really want to go down them, and they lead to some really weird places, I'm telling you. Like
Okay.
stuff that really make you question a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, I'm glad
Okay.
I didn't get there, because like I said, just yesterday was when I decided not to do the creepypasta, so I didn't really have a lot of time to like find something else, but this was really straightforward, so it made it easy. But I when I googled it, I literally typed in Kentucky Goblins, and this was what came up. There was like nothing else.
Yeah, this and that's the Kentucky Goblin story. Like you have to look into like what people have researched in the area, because it's changed. It's not the same as it used to be. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
They have like there's there's weird documentation from somebody in that area that experienced something recently, but then they disappeared. They just went off the radar.
That's
And then-
creepy.
And then there was another person that said same kind of stuff and said like, "Hey, there's more stuff going on, and I think I'm next." And then they disappeared.
Oh my
And-
god.
And I mean, there's I mean, that's where I'm at in this rabbit hole.
You're in deep, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well,
I
then
mean,
maybe this is just the part one
there's
of this story.
there's connections with these goblins to the Mothman and
Oh,
Indrid
God.
Cold and like all kinds of there's one hell of a rabbit hole that you can fall into with these friggin' goblins if you so desire to venture that far.
Wow.
But there's a lot of weird, crazy, weird shit involved around these Kentucky Goblins.
That's
Okay.
wild. Okay.
And they're
Yeah.
not, and like I said, these creatures that are there have evolved. They don't do that stuff anymore. They realize like, hey, but they obviously realize like, we can't do this. We're
Yeah.
gonna get shot at.
Yeah.
We gotta hide ourselves. And I mean, there is a theory that a ton of people believe in, that there is a lot of weird shit going on in the cave systems of the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's kind of wild. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe this is
maybe
just
you're
a
right. Maybe this is like part 1, and
part
then
one.
maybe at some point, if Kyle wants to do part 2, we can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
We keep adding topics. That's like, okay, well, maybe in the future this will be Kyle's episode.
Yeah, Kyle's going to be the one that covers all the really crazy conspiracy stuff, because that is
Yeah.
so not
Yeah, if
in my
anybody
repertoire.
wants to talk to Kyle about conspiracy, or if anybody wants to talk to us in general about conspiracy theories, you'll be talking to Kyle. I'm just
Yeah, because we're
saying
not
that right
yeah.
now.
Jillian and I are not into that.
No, well, and it's like I don't mind.
I have the kind of big picture mind where I can digest that stuff.
Yeah,
just
and we're
can't.
very linear.
I have a hard time getting my brain to go there, and part of it is I think an anxiety thing and
Yes.
a trust
Yeah, I think
and-
I think what I've noticed is you don't like whenever I start to venture in those directions, you cut me off pretty quick.
You're like,
It's
nope.
You're like, nope,
I do.
nope. I just
Nope.
don't want to hear it.
No.
I just don't want to deal with that bullshit right now. It's like
Well,
I
it's
feel
not-
I feel it. I feel it's kind of like a pick your battle kind of situation. Like boil it down.
a little bit. Well, and it's because it's for me, and it's not that I don't believe it, because there are
Yeah.
quite a few conspiracy theories that they make sense, and there's a lot of evidence that back them.
And when you start to think about the reasoning behind it, it starts to blow your mind.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yes.
my thing is I like my bubble.
I know.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
And
I
I
agree.
like my
I agree.
bliss. I like
Yes.
it. And I just can't, like, I can't be worried all the time that the government is out to get me. I just can't, like, that. I can't live that way. I have enough anxiety as it is.
Yeah, I get it. I wish I could
So
live.
thanks. I'm sorry if I keep cutting you off about your conspiracy theory.
Oh no, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well that was a good one. That was fun.
Yeah.
We'll put
And
part
all
2.
this stuff I just talked about, feel free to cut that out. I wasn't intending that to be part of the final product. I was just
I don't think
trying to tell
it
you.
needs to be cut. I think people will probably appreciate your input on that. All right. Well, let's see here. Is there anything? Let's summarize.
Oh, we have to do your topic.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, let's do that first, and then we can do social media again.
Yes. Okay, so though I just want to preface to everyone, we record these episodes, we're recording them really far in advance. We haven't even officially, at this point in time, as of this recording, we haven't even released our episodes yet. Our podcast has not even launched yet. We're just pre-recording a bunch of stuff. So, as of right now, it is the beginning of December. So, it's almost Christmas.
Yes.
So, by the time this episode actually drops, it will probably be after Christmas. But who fucking cares? We're gonna do a holiday true crime.
Holiday true crime.
Holiday.
Okay.
We haven't really done a true crime yet.
Yes.
So, the Somerton Man was as close as we got, so we need a good old-fashioned murder in Savannah. That was an Office reference, okay?
It's a murder in Savannah.
There has been a murder in Savannah. I'm Caleb Crawdad. I'm Boo Boo Mama Juju.
Well, I can't guarantee this story is going to be in Georgia. But that's exciting. I think I've mentioned this before. I eat true crime for fucking breakfast.
Yes.
I love it so goddamn much. I do. I love true crime, and that being said, I don't love that crime happens. I don't love generally the crimes involved, but I really enjoy hearing about the story and the people
the investigations.
involved. The investigation is super interesting. I find it interesting, but I don't enjoy murder. I don't enjoy anything like that, but I just love true crime so much. I think it's so fascinating.
Yes.
It's so interesting. So I'm excited about this one.
Yes.
might already have one in the hopper. I think that would fit the bill.
Yes. I think we have a
But we will
plethora of
see.
ones.
Yes, yeah.
Even
we
poor
do.
Jean-Benet Ramsey would fit into that category, although that one's too close to home here in Denver.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, Paige and I and Kyle, we are all from Colorado, and the JonBenet Ramsey case was one that I think we all remember where we were when.
Yeah, and
like,
Jillian and I were very, very, very young, but I remember it.
Yes, and I
That
think
was
she
bad,
would
bad, bad.
be. If I remember correctly, I think she'd be approximately our age too.
Yeah,
So it
I
was
think a
like
little
very
younger, but
relatable in
yeah.
that sense. But as a kid growing up around the JonBenet Ramsey case, like in the same state, it was so covered that everybody kind of knows what they were doing. And it was a holiday. So you
Mhm.
remember the things about that holiday. I remember making Christmas dinner and that was on the news, and we were,
Yeah.
making these casseroles and that was on the news.
Yeah,
And,
that was a really, really sad one. And it's a child murder, so I don't know if I can handle that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, that one has also been done so much. It's kind of like, what else is there to talk about? But
Yeah.
yeah, I might already have one. But anyway, we will see how it goes. It might be
Okay.
too graphic, but I don't know. We'll
Oh
see.
God.
Oh
Oh God.
If I'm the one that I'm thinking of, if that's the one, it's I don't know. I don't want to say too much, but in case I end up doing it. But let's just say it might be gruesome. But anyway, we'll
God.
see. We'll see.
Way to make me
So-
real excited.
I know it sounds
Not.
like it's going to be interesting.
I should preface that was a joke.
I know. I was going to say it's going to be fun, but it's like, let's be honest, we're talking about murder, so no, it's not really going to be fun.
Murder
But
in Savannah.
murder. So yeah, but anyway, so tune in next week, and I am going to give you a good holiday themed true crime.
Yes.
If you're into that, next week is your week. And let's see, we talked about social media already, but I'm going to do it again because I can, damn it. Again, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tales with Twins. We have a Facebook group, Tales with Twins podcast. So try to maybe jump on that and subscribe, rate, and review. Please.
Yes, please rate and review.
Yes, we would really appreciate it. Right now we're doing this as a hobby, and we would love for it to be more than that. So help us get there if you can and have the
Yes.
means to do so. That would be absolutely wonderful. You can also email us at taleswithtwinspodcast@gmail.com. If you have any stories that you'd like to share with us, personal stories, or if you want to just tell us how much you like us, we'd love that too.
Yes.
We need that kind of positive affirmation from people. So yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else we want to say before we go?
I don't think so.
All right. Tune in next week, everybody.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
And thank you again for joining Tales with Twins.
Oh, and real quick, before you go, I just wanted to jump on and with this little pre-recorded message, I guess, to let you know that we now have a Patreon and a PayPal, if you haven't heard already. We really enjoy making this podcast, but it does come with a number of expenses. So if you'd like to throw a little monetary support our way, we would love you forever, ever, ever. We will also be putting out bonus episodes for any donors over the $5 level on Patreon as our gift to you. The links for both PayPal and Patreon are on our Instagram and Twitter pages, and we will also be posting a link on our Facebook group as well. And just in case you don't know, our Instagram and Twitter handles are at Tales with Twins, and our Facebook group is Tales with Twins Podcast. So thanks again for your support. We can't do this without you, and thanks for listening to my little spiel. And we'll see you all next week. Thanks. Bye.